Moment to connect. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Innovation Institute's webinar, The Art of Customer Discovery. Very happy to have you all here with us. This is a free webinar series that we host. So be sure to keep an eye out for our upcoming webinars. We have a few different series going on right now, one about IP, and this one is obviously from our Spark to Startup series, so all about foundational topics for entrepreneurs. Today, we are joined by Sharon Goldsmith, the Executive Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Programs at the Institute. She's also my supervisor and a generally lovely human. She has 7 years of experience in the university scene, working with entrepreneurs and helping individuals actualize their ideas into successful businesses. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sharon. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful presentation. Oh, I will be monitoring the chat for any questions. So if you have questions, pop it in and we will get to you. Sharon?
All right. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. So today I'm going to cover the art of customer discovery. I'm going to try to make it as fun and engaging as teaching entrepreneurship can be. I have been doing this for quite some time, as my colleague Jay mentioned. So give you a little background about me. I started my career in the music industry. I worked at a company called G-Unit Records, which was owned and operated by 50 Cent. And we launched about 15 additional portfolio companies underneath him in various different verticals. So we bought this interest in a company that became Vitamin Water, which you might be familiar with. We exited that company to Coca-Cola. We got a G-Unit shout out. Thank you. We had a sneaker with Reebok. It was the largest selling sneaker by a non-athlete, and I believe still to date. We had a film and TV company, which I'm really proud to say has recently relocated to Louisiana. So my old boss is following me, I guess. And we had companies in the vitamin space and supplement space. And so I had a really great opportunity to work in so many different business verticals while also getting the fun part of working in the music industry and traveling the world and putting on large concerts. In 2015, I joined Hofstra University. They were my alma mater. I'd gotten a master's degree there years ago, and they were launching a Center for Entrepreneurship. And one of the things that I was really passionate about was teaching other people how to get all of these businesses off the ground. I was really self-taught. I got my MBA while I was working at Hofstra University, and I've been teaching yay, Long Island. I like the shout outs in the chat. All right. This will be very engaging if you guys keep up the back and forth. So I've been teaching customer discovery for basically 7 years since I was at Hofstra University. And I think this is sort of the most powerful tool that you can teach an entrepreneur. So it's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's really going to be a way for you to get inside the heads of your customers so that you are creating a product or a service that is exactly what they want, how they want it, at the price point they want it, because it is much easier to continue to engage your same customer than it is to go get a new one. And so with that quick introduction, I am going to share my screen and we are going to dive right on in. Okay, so we can skip this part. We already talked about that. And I am going to show you a fun video to set the tone.
Hey, I've got a great idea for a business.
That's exciting. Tell me about it.
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
Huh. That's a little confusing. Can you dumb it down for me?
Sure. What I do is I take a proprietary isomer that I developed with a picric acid wash that hollows out the carbon bonds and replaces them with a nanotube wrapping.
Okay, so I guess it's pretty technical.
Oh yeah. I've been working on this isomer for 9 years.
So what's the business idea?
To sell it,
To who?
everybody will want one,
What for?
so they can wrap their volatile organic compounds in carbon nanotubes.
I think you might need a target customer. I don't think I need to wrap my compounds in your nanotube.
Well, maybe not you.
So, for people who buy it, what's the value you are providing them?
I've developed a chemical isomer that links to volatile organic compounds causing carbon bonds to rupture and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
You've said that already. This is getting annoying. Why should anyone care about your isomer?
I spent 9 years on this.
I know that. Okay, pretend I'm an investor. How can I make money off your product?
By selling it.
You're a smart guy, but try not to think like a scientist. Think like a business person.
Okay. Value chain. Term sheet.
I have to go now and answer that.
That's not your phone.
I know.
Okay, so that's not going to be you. We're not going to let that be you. That's not going to be anybody who attended this webinar. So I put that video in my presentations, partially to be engaging, but mostly to make the point that, you know, when we are launching a business and we're super passionate about it, we tend to be experts in this field, and we know a lot about this really specific thing because it's what we're passionate about. It's our business, it's our child, it's our baby. And your customers do not. And they really need you to frame your business in the way in which you're describing the problem that it solves. And so we're going to sort of rewire our brains for the next 40 minutes, and we're going to take off our entrepreneur hats and we are going to put on our detective hat. So, and I was a child, I was obsessed with like being a police person, and I wanted to be a detective, and I was really inquisitive. I'm sure my parents loved that. So that's what we're going to get to cosplay today, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're changing our perspective. Today we're detectives, and our goal in this process of customer discovery is going to be to find a pattern. And that's going to help you make better decisions, and your decisions are going to lead to actions. And I am going to encourage you all to do the uncomfortable and change your business model to fit what your customer wants. And that sounds like it makes a lot of sense, right? We want to build businesses that are successful. And in order to be successful, we have to get to something called product market fit. And what that means is we are taking whatever we're doing, our product, our service, and we are forming it in a way that is exactly what our customers want. And if we do that, essentially, we're going to save ourselves a lot of time, and we're going to save ourselves a lot of money. And we just want to make sure that we create the business or service in a perfect way so that our customers would be absolutely devastated should we ever disappear. So customer discovery starts with a really clear problem. What is the problem that you are solving? Why, my slides are getting ahead of me. Why are you and your company on this planet? What is the exact problem it's solving? Are you trying to create a painkiller or a vitamin? So a lot of times companies want to solve your problem. It's a one and done transaction. Or are we creating a way to slowly prevent the problem? And who exactly has the problem that we're solving? Who are our stakeholders and who are our customers? And so the art of customer discovery is this 5-step process, and it's pretty simple and maybe a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to walk you through it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up with a plan. We're going to listen to our customers. Then we're going to document. We're going to learn from what we have documented, and then we're going to pivot our business and make adjustments. So I like to show by example. That's how I learn best. And I, for the purpose of today's presentation, and maybe secretly always, wanted to own my own hot dog stand. I'm born and raised in New York City. I lived there for 42 years. And I think hot dogs are absolutely a food group. And this could be my next business. So we're going to walk through the process of customer discovery through the lens that me, myself, and I am launching Sharon's hot dog stand. So when we think about what our business is or could be, or if we have an existing business and we're thinking about a new product or thinking about another service that we can offer, we can use this 9-step tool, a business model canvas. It's 9 boxes to game plan out all the aspects of our business. So gone are the days where I encourage people to sit down and write like a 20, 30 page business plan, because especially if it's for an idea or for a new business vertical or for a new product or for a new service, you're making a whole lot of assumptions. And we all know the old adage about making assumptions. And so we want to sort of dial this down into this one page. It's a pretty quick and efficient way to think about all the different aspects of our business. And it also is a living, breathing document that allows us to keep revisiting and refining the areas of our business that are maybe not working or could work better. This is a tool that is used by established businesses and a tool that is also used by people who are in the idea stage. We had previously held a workshop on how to do this. We had a wonderful facilitator, Maleron, who came in and taught everybody for an hour how to do this. So I don't want to dive too deeply, but for those of you who did not attend, we are going to fill out this business model canvas together for Sharon's hot dog stand. And then we are going to do customer discovery and test against all the assumptions I have about building my hot dog stand. So the first thing we're going to do is start where it says start here, value proposition. So what is it that I do? And remember, we're framing this in the idea that we are discussing the problem we are solving. So the problem I'm solving is that I want to provide people something quick and inexpensive to eat on the go. We're going to move to the right side. Who am I helping? My customer segments. So I'm going to assume that it's business people who are at work all day and need this quick, easy meal. How do I interact? My customer relationships? Well, I'm going to create a punch card, and for every 5 hot dogs they buy, their 6th one's going to be free. And we're going to interact and have a personal relationship. How am I going to reach them? Distribution channels? Well, I'm a hot dog stand, so I'm just going to deliver them at point of purchase. They're going to walk up to me, they're going to order this hot dog, and I'm going to hand it over to them, and they're going to see me on the street, and that's going to be my advertising, that intoxicating smell of hot dogs and hot water. And then we're going to think about the other side of the canvas. So the right side, if you notice, you see the word customer a lot. These are the things that we do externally. And then the left side of the canvas, you're going to see key. These are the things, key like me is a great way to think about it. These are the things that I need to do to run my business. So who is going to help me? Key partners. I'm going to need a distributor, I think, to buy these hot dogs and buns and ketchup and soda or mustard. And how am I going to do it? Well, I think I'm just going to order the supplies, load up my hot dog stand, and push my cart down the street. What do I need? Key resources. I think I'm just going to add up the cost of buying a bunch of stuff for a week to fill my cart and the cost of the cart. And those are my resources. Cost structure. What will it cost? So that is not what will the business cost me. That is what will my product cost. And I'm going to guess that for a hot dog and a soda, $7. And how much money will I make? I think my hard costs will be around $4, and I make $3 a hot dog. And now I've just made a whole bunch of assumptions about my famous hot dog stand that everyone wants to come eat at. All right, so we have to get out of the building and we have to test all of these assumptions. So if I were our teenage girl target market, I would love our new product. And the other guy eating pizza in the room says, have you actually talked to any to make sure? And the other guy says, well, I'll leave this room. We cannot test our assumptions in a bubble. We can't just stay in our office or behind our laptop to do the process of customer discovery. We will not be successful. So who am I going to ask? And here you see two people saying, how was the customer interview? And he says, great. I learned from my grandmother's bridge group that our dating app should have a rotary phone version. We can't ask people who are not our customers. If you're not our target customer, then all of that data we're collecting is basically irrelevant. I don't know if I'm aging myself, but for the youngins on the call, the rotary phone, you put your finger in the button and you spin it around a circle. It took a very long time to dial. So who should I not ask? Besides grandma and her bridge club and people who know what a rotary phone is. I've been told I need to get candid feedback, unbiased feedback on my startup idea. We love this idea and we're so proud of you, son. So parents are not a good option. Why? Because parents really care about your feelings and they don't want to hurt them. Parents want to encourage their children. And this is not an example to say specifically not, just parents are a bad person to ask, but sort of anybody who you have a close personal relationship with that cares about your emotions and your feelings. Also, if you have been sharing information about this problem that you're trying to solve and this passion you have for your business, and these people are close to you and they've been hearing you do this for a while, you can develop something called a confirmation bias, where you are seeking out it's a cognitive bias where you're seeking out information about your previously held beliefs. So you want to be in this echo chamber. You're looking for people to tell you what you already know. And like I told you, the process of customer discovery is going to be uncomfortable. If we're doing it right, it's not going to feel good all the time. And so we want to get away from this. We want to get around this. So now we did a whole bunch of slides on what you're not supposed to do. So I'm going to try to move it in a more positive direction and give you some information about what kind of questions we are going to ask. So here's how I recommend posing the questions. What's the hardest part about being hungry and needing something quick to eat on the go? Can you tell me about the last time that happened? Why was that hard? What, if anything, have you done to solve that problem? And what don't you like about the solutions that you've tried? And you can basically insert your problem statement into all of these questions, regardless of what kind of product or service that your company is providing. And you get people to open up. They can start telling you about how they were hungry and they needed something quick to eat on the go. Maybe they talk about they experienced long lines at multiple places, or ordering pickup and it wasn't ready for 45 minutes, so it was no longer quick. Or maybe the only options that were available to them were not healthy. Can you tell me about the last time that happened? We're going to find out frequency. How often does this problem occur for people, or how recent has this problem occurred for people? Why was it hard? So maybe they'll give you information about step-by-step. They didn't like the transaction experience, or it was a two-step solution to solve a one-step problem. What, if anything, have you done to solve that problem? And the reason I love this question is because people are going to tell you how they hack the system, and they're going to tell you basically what your potential competitors are doing. That is going to be such important and powerful information for you to be able to say, well, this is what I need to do to differentiate myself, or this is what I need to do to get ahead of my competition and be a better and more valuable service to my customer? And what don't you love about the solutions you tried? And here they're going to tell you all the things that are wrong with what's on the market so that you know exactly how to create that product market fit, that perfect product or solution for your customer, that perfect service that does exactly what they want in the way that they want it. So it's important when we're doing customer discovery to sort of think back to all the different pieces of our business and examine each one of them and make sure that we're on the right track for our customers. So I'm going to address all of the boxes in the business model canvas that we filled out verbally, quickly together around the hot dog stand and show you how you can formulate questions to address each box of the canvas, each part of your business. Now, for those of us who have been in business, who have an established business or have an established service, and you're thinking about either a new customer segment or a new product, you may want to conduct all your customer discovery around one or two of the boxes. You may want to concentrate on doing customer discovery around a narrow part of your business. If your business is not working, it has a problem spot, you have a blind spot to why this is occurring, it's occurring out of nowhere, you might want to test these individual sections of your business and do your customer discovery that way. But if we're at the idea stage, the whole business is a whole bunch of assumptions. And so we are going to have to test and do customer discovery around all of the pieces of the business. So I broke it down by the non-boxes for the purpose of the presentation, but by no means do I expect everybody here at the end of this to go out and do this exercise unless they are at the idea stage from square one. So value proposition. Now, remember, I said my value proposition was to provide something quick and easy and inexpensive on the go for hungry people. That is the problem that I thought I was solving. So here I want to know, is that even a problem? And how are people solving that problem? So tell me about the last time you were busy and hungry. What did you get to eat? Where did you get it? How long did it take? Were you happy with it? Did you feel like it was worth your time and money? So here I'm really trying to understand how the problem is currently being solved. Are there direct competitors I may have overlooked? How far are people traveling? How long does a transaction take? Do they like the current solution? Why or why not? And what value do they believe the current solution has, right? Okay, so now we're going to move into if I needed to do customer discovery around customer relationships. So if I'm an established business and I'm finding that my customers are coming to me, they're making a transaction and I'm never seeing them again, or I have a subscription-based business and after the first 3 months, they're no longer subscribing. I need to figure out what is the relationship that I need to have with my customer to keep them. So I said, I'm going to create a punch card. And I said, my customer relationship is going to be, I'm going to know people because I'm going to see them. They're going to come up to me and buy their hot dog. And for every 5 hot dogs I sell, that's 6 months free. So here are some questions that we can ask in the process of customer discovery around this. Did you ever go back? Tell me about a place if you were hungry, you needed something quick and easy on the go. Always start with that problem. Where'd you go and did you ever go back? What restaurant or takeout spot do you feel values your business? And how do they show it? Some companies are so phenomenal at customer relationships. And I don't even think you know how they built the relationship with you because it doesn't feel personal because it's not. CVS. How many people get excited about that super long receipt with all of the fun coupons? It's like toilet paper. It's like ridiculous. It comes out of the, and even if you press no receipt, you get some sort of piece of paper, right? And why do they do that? Why do they not let you leave the store without 16 more coupons? It's because they want to build a relationship with you. CVS does not want you to go to Walgreens. Walgreens is probably, it's not probably, if you I've been on Canal Street, it's definitely directly across the street, right? So what's going to make me cross the street and go back to CVS if I'm already on the side of the street of Walgreens? It's that I have all those coupons in my hand. I have $4 off. I have $10 off. They know the products that I've purchased before. It's no secret because they're really good at data collection. They give me receipts and coupons that are for the products I've previously purchased. So they know how to drive me back into the store, and they've created this relationship with me. Starbucks, if you have the app and you frequently buy things, you get coupons for a free coffee. I personally just do not like Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks, so I can't tell you what the coupon is, but I know everybody who has the app gets excited. They have like a free coffee or a free Danish or whatever's going on over there. And the reason that the customer relationship is so important, and the reason that we want to know what it is that places or why it is that places are establishing this, is because when we're thinking about getting customers for our business, we have to acquire them. And there's a cost associated with acquiring a new customer. It's cost per acquisition. I'm sure if you've been in a business school class or you've been at this for a while, you might have heard investors ask you, what's your cost per acquisition? What does it cost you to get a customer? And it's hard to arrive at that number. And sometimes that number is shockingly high. So what we want to do once we've acquired a customer is increase the lifetime value of that customer. So we want to make sure that that customer keeps coming back again and again and again, so that we don't incur that hefty fee on the front end. And so we're asking these questions because we want to know what makes you go back to the place that you go back to time and again. If you're hungry, and you need something quick and easy on the go, I want to know what other companies in my business vertical, what other restaurants are doing to make you feel valued, so that you feel like your business is important to them and that it is a mutually beneficial relationship. How do they show it? Is it a loyalty card? Is it coupons? And it does not always have to be monetary. There are probably people who will tell you that they frequent the same local bar because the bartender knows their name and knows what they drink, and they don't even have to say it when they sit down. There are other ways that are not monetary to show appreciation. So that's a little bit on how we deep dive into these customer relationships. So customer segments. If you are unsure of who your customer is, which is vital, we have to know, because if we are marketing towards, if we have a child's product, we're marketing towards the parent is the customer, the child is the end user. If we are marketing towards the boomer generation, my dad is not on social media. My grandpa, he's going to turn 100. He does have a smartphone, but he is not on social media. So Instagram ads are not going to work to get those folks into the door or onto your website. If we're marketing towards a younger population, social media might be the best option. So we need to know who they are so that we can find them and that we can market to them, and we can make sure that we're building a business appropriate for the customer segment. So if I wanted to figure out who my customers were, and remember, my hot dog stand, I assumed, is targeted towards people who work a 9-to-5 or a business person. These are some of the questions that I might ask. Do you normally eat alone or with other people? Who are those people? How old are they? If we're targeting an older demographic of women, they might not love the last question. So be flexible in the way that you ask these questions, because we want people to be honest and give us information. We don't want to turn people off, and we always want to be super polite. So the reason that I'm asking, do you normally eat alone or with other people, is if I assume that I'm targeting office workers and I ask 20 people that work in office buildings downtown if they eat lunch alone or with other people, and if the majority of them say, yeah, when I need something quick and easy, we've got a short break, a bunch of us from the office get together and go down the street and get pizza or whatever they do. Now I know that I need to target my advertising towards potentially office managers and offer discounts if 4 or more employees come during lunch hour. And this way I am helping to drive the customer segment, and I've hit the nail on the head. These are definitely my customers. I should park in front of that office building. If everyone I talk to either eats alone or goes and picks their kid up from school and takes them out for an hour, maybe my hot dog cart needs to be parked closer to a high school, closer to a soccer field. Maybe people who want something quick and easy on the go are in transition from picking their kid up at school and taking them to an event. And now I know if I've asked 20 working people and they're like, yeah, it's that 3 o'clock or that 4 o'clock hour that the problem happens. I'm hungry. I need to find somewhere to eat. I'm eating with children. Now I know, okay, maybe I need a kid's meal. Maybe I need some beverages that aren't caffeinated. Or maybe I need beverages that are extra caffeinated. I'm not a parent. I heard it's tiring. And so I want to know who these people are. I want to know how old they are. And this is going to help me identify who my customer is. All right. So channels. When we think about the channels of our business, we have to think of it in 2 ways. And I know that's annoying because we always want to think about things in one way. And that makes life so simple, but nothing's simple in life. So 2 ways. Split the brain. One channel is the marketing channels. So these are the marketing efforts and the places that I can market to reach all of my customers. And there could be marketing channels like newspaper advertisements, print. We have television, radio, social media. They could be static advertisements on websites. There's tons of different marketing channels. And then there's also the distribution channel in which I deliver my product. So is my product available for home delivery? Does my customer have to come to me to get my product? Is my product delivered through a third-party app? And so I was thinking that all of my customers were going to come to me. Remember, I said I'm going to park this hot dog stand, and the channels are, they're just going to see me. I'm not going to have to do any marketing because you can't miss the red and yellow umbrella and the intoxicating scent of boiling hot dogs. And you can't miss me. I'm right on the corner. And to get your hot dog, you're going to have to come face to face. I'm handing it to you. So here are some of the questions that I might ask to test these assumptions about the channels that I'm picking. So here's a marketing channel question. Where did you hear about the place you stopped to eat? So remember the original premise. You're hungry. You want something quick and easy to go on the go. It's inexpensive. Where did you hear about that place? When you're trying to find a place to eat, how do you do it? What's your process? Who do you ask, or what websites do you use? So these questions that I posed were particularly around the marketing channels. And if people tell me that they hear about the place on Yelp, and I ask 20 people and everyone tells me Yelp, I might personally detest Yelpers. I might dislike the attitude that they have, and they feel like they're Yelp influencers or whatever. They have little stars and they make snarky comments, but But if all my customers are on Yelp, then I need to be on Yelp too. And I need to make sure I have good Yelp reviews. Again, uncomfortable, doing what the customer wants, not what we like, not what we personally agree with. We are building product market fit. So we cannot internalize any of the data. We have to be detectives, not entrepreneurs. We have to be obsessed with solving the problem in the way the customer is interested in, and not addressing our emotions and how we feel about, our firstborn. It's like somebody calling your firstborn ugly. No one wants that. But if they said they look cuter in a hat, you're going to put the hat on, right? So we are thinking about building this business for the customer. When you're trying to find a place to eat, how do you do it? I want to know the process. Do you start on a website? Do you Google? Do you open up Google Maps and look for places around you? If I find that out, then I need to make sure that my address or my location for my hot dog stand is on Google Maps. Do you go on Twitter and look for food trucks? Do you follow particular influencers? We're in the process of however most people are finding out. Who do you ask? Tell me your influencer. Who influences you? If you are constantly asking the security guard in front of your building about all the quick and cheap places to eat in your area, then I know part of my marketing strategy is going to have to be to go speak to all of the security guards downtown when I set up my hot dog stand and say, hey, free hot dog if you tell everybody in the building when they walk in the morning how great the hot dog stand is down the street. If you influence for me, I will do something for you. I am now building an ambassador for my business that I found through the process of customer discovery. If you wanted to ask a question surrounding distribution channels, it might be, where did you go? How far was it? Did you get it delivered? Oh, if so, which delivery service did you use? If everybody tells me that they solve their problem of getting something quick and cheap and easy to eat by having something delivered right to their desk, my hot dog stand must be on Grubhub, must be on Uber Eats. If I was missing out on all of those customers because my assumption was everyone's going to want to come visit me on the corner. And so that is why it is so incredibly powerful to be asking these questions. Did I skip one? I skipped one. Okay, key partners. So here's a hack. I've developed this. I've been doing this a long time. So key partners, who are the people who I need to help me run this business? And I had said I was just going to use this one supplier and order my hot dogs and my buns and my ketchup and mustard and soda from one person. Go ask your competitors. I know it's called customer discovery, and your competitors, maybe your customer, but probably not. Go ask your competitors. Tell them that you are doing some research for Tulane University and you want to know, where do you order your supplies from? Who handles your payments? Who do you have relationships with that help you? I know some people feel a certain way about talking to their competitors, but remember, we are thinking about this research project, this detective work, from the aspect of the problem that we're solving. We're not calling people up and telling them all about our great new business and how wonderful it is, because that could create some confirmation bias, which we talked about earlier. So here's a reason why talking to your competitors is a really smart move. They're already doing this. And if you go out there and you eat hot dogs from all the other hot dog places in town, and you find out that one place has particularly great buns and all the other places have crappy buns, you want to be one of the places that has the good buns. You want to find out who the supplier is. The other thing you want to make sure that you're doing is getting a diverse supply chain set up for you. Making sure that you know all of your options from all of the people that you could possibly be getting these things from. learning about all of the partners that are potentially out there, or learning about all of the people who can be highly influential to your business. If I need to make a relationship with so-and-so at City Hall so that my hot dog stand gets a permit every single outdoor festival coming up, that's valuable information I maybe would not have thought of. And here's a way that your competitors can, and a little story about how your competitors can actually become your partners. If you have a good relationship with a competitor and they know you're just starting out, and you come to them from the position that you're looking for some mentorship, you respect the way they run their business, you think they're just so great at what they do, and you're just a little guy. This works especially well in the service businesses. If you're providing like accounting work or HR work or legal work, and you call up these larger, more established firms and you say, I'm just getting started, I'm building my customer base. Which internet provider do you use? Which office buildings or landlords do you think are great to work with, or have been reasonable, or helped with your build out when you've moved to offices a bunch of times? You develop a relationship with them, and when they get accounts or people call on their business and they say, I just need me to make a little small offer. Could you do books for my tiny little at-home bakery? That established firm might say no, that's not for us. Like, we're not going to take on the small potatoes. But hold on. They may make a referral to their buddy, the little guy, and help out the little guy, the new person in town, the new gal, the new person they've been mentoring. So they might be able to refer you a lot of business that maybe they feel they're too established to take on, but would be appropriate for somebody starting out, and vice versa. If you are making a product, you're developing some sort of widget, and you get a phone call and somebody wants to order 30,000 widgets, and you are making these by hand in your basement, there is no way you could possibly fill an order for 30,000. But had you established a relationship with one of your competitors who's a larger company, you might say to that customer, you know what, I can't, but here is somebody who can. And maybe when that larger company gets the order and they find out you referred them, maybe you can set up some sort of referral fee. Maybe you can get a little piece of the action. So talking to your competitors is not that scary. It's a great way to find out who the key partners are that you need for your business. All right, key activities. Here's another hack. Asking similar business owners, can you please tell me about a day in the life of your business? What goes on behind the scenes? What keeps you up at night? So the reason these questions can be so powerful is because when you're planning a business, or you're launching a new product, or you're launching a new service, you might have missed a step. You might have missed a step, and you don't want to find out the hard way when your product or service gets to your customer and it is not effective in the way you want it to be, and then they don't order more, come back, etc. This is a great way to save you time and to save you money. This gets you thinking about all of the processes, the key activities that you have to do day to day when you're running your business. So when you're thinking about and you're listening to all the things that they're talking about, if you completely missed a step, then you might have also missed an expense that you did not account for. That's really going to hurt your balance sheet. If I completely forgot that I need to process my payroll through a third-party company, I can't just hand my employees cash. And then I realized, oh, geez, there's payroll taxes associated with that, and I didn't account for that when I was putting together my financial projections. I'm not charging enough for this hot dog to cover that. I'm in trouble. So again, the process of customer discovery is really built to make sure that we are achieving the product market fit, and that we are saving ourselves time and money, and we are making and avoiding all of the mistakes that we possibly can. All right, key resources. So I said my key resources back in the early days of this presentation when we were talking about the 9 boxes were going to be the vendors and the hot dog stand, right? So I need to call prospective vendors. I need to understand who these vendors are. What do the items that I need to get off the ground cost? What is it? How do I order buns? How many do I have to order at a time? Are they going to go stale? How long are they fresh for? Where can I source all this stuff? And remember, I've mentioned before that it's important to build a really diverse supply chain. You cannot put your eggs in one basket. The pandemic hit and China shut down. We were not getting products or services from China during the early days of the pandemic. Business owners did not see that coming because nobody saw that coming. And so if my business was 100% reliant on a single supply chain pathway, my logistics were all coming out of China and there were no more boats, my business grinds to a halt, right? But if my competitors, even if they're charging more and they have an inferior product, but they were sourcing their materials from, say, India, and India did not shut down, I might lose customers to that other business, even if it's not as great as mine, because they maybe can't wait for me. And so that is why it is really crucial to have a big vendor list, do your research, understand what these key resources are. If you are running a service-based business, your vendors might look a little different, but equally as important. They might be who you get your IT service from, or your phone service, or your internet, or your office furniture. So thinking through that. All right, so we're going to hit the last 2 boxes and we're going to open this up for some Q&A. So the last 2 boxes are sort of interdependent, right? So there's cost structure, and then there is your revenue streams. So when I think about something quick and easy to eat on the go, and I was assuming my price point was going to be $7, I want to find out how much people are willing to pay when they want something quick and easy to eat on the go. And if I ask 20 people, and 20 people tell me $10, and I was going to launch my business at $7, I have left $3 on the table for every single customer. If that was 10 customers a day, that's $30. Maybe that covered an hour's worth of labor or 2 hours worth of labor, right? So we never want to leave money on the table. How much do you normally pay to solve this problem? If somebody tells me they will pay anything, because if they need to eat quickly and they just want something on the go and they're willing to pay $20, now I better think about some gourmet hot dogs, some stone ground mustard, some artisan rolls, some very fancy soda, because if my customer is willing to pay $20, then I need to come up with a hot dog that expresses $20 worth of value, because you never want to leave money on the table. Now, if the opposite is true and people tell me they will spend $3 or $2, then I really need to think about that $7 price point. Will I get any customers? Am I charging an astronomical fee compared to what they're willing to spend to solve the problem? If my solution is really expensive and they think back to, well, they're currently hacking the system and they do this 2-step thing and they're taping together with bubble gum and duct tape a solution to the problem, they're not going to stretch well beyond their financial limits just because I make it easier, right? And then your revenue streams. So a lot of us think about our business in terms of like, we have a product or a service, we sell that product or service, and that's our revenue stream, right? If I have a hot dog stand and my assumption and all of my customer discovery checks out and tells me my assumptions are true, business people who work in office buildings downtown are my customers, those office buildings are really empty on Saturday and Sunday. I've got a 5-day-a-week business. Is that going to cut it? I don't know. What do I do for my revenue streams on Saturday and Sunday? Well, what happens on Saturdays and Sundays? Festivals, weddings, kids' soccer games. So are there private events that I could rent my hot dog stand out to? Are there other ways in which I can make revenue? My hot dog stand is on the corner. It's got a big umbrella. It's red and yellow, and it draws a lot of attention. Perhaps other people want to advertise on my umbrella. Perhaps people who do bicycle repair. If I work downtown and a lot of people ride their bicycle and a lot of bikers pull their bike up to come get a hot dog, perhaps the bike repair shop wants to put some advertising on my umbrella. That could be another stream of revenue. I need napkins for my hot dog stand. I currently have to buy them. What if I cut a deal with the bike repair shop that they order my napkins? They might have the bike repair shop's information on them. I don't care. I've saved money. Now I have this extra stream of revenue. I have also lowered my cost structure. So these are really sort of interdependent topics, and asking these questions are going to tell you where to go. So here's my challenge to you. I think I've taught you in a super simple way how to go out there and to do your customer discovery. So I'm challenging you to make a list of people that you can interview. So if you're a business to business product or service, think about which employee at those companies has that problem that you're solving or deals with that problem. That's where I would start for those people. I do get that question a lot because it is a little different than going directly to a customer. And start to make a list of the questions that you want to ask. Because what's really important is when we get the opportunity and we set up these interviews that we're not fumbling and that we're really efficient with our time, because we want to respect our future customers' time and energy. And we are also going to use this opportunity to collect everyone's email addresses or contact information. So if we are at the idea stage, when we launch our business, we now have a mailing list of all these prospective customers. And here is a free book that you can download, which teaches you even more detail how to do this. It's called Talking to Humans. It's free. It's where I got those really cute cartoons from in the beginning of my slides. I am not an artist. I did not draw those. And so I highly recommend that. And if you are new to the Tulane Innovation Institute and you would like to come talk to us about your business and see what other resources we have besides attending these free webinars, you can scan the QR code, you can fill out the form. I've been tracking how fast people take to fill out the form. Somebody has beat the record, 3 seconds. So it only takes 3 seconds to get in touch with us and tell us a little bit about your business. And if you enjoyed today's presentation, which I hope you did, wanted to share with you some other ones we have coming up. So the LePage Center, which is part of the Freeman School of Business here at Tulane, hosts a pitch competition for students on Fridays called Pitch Fridays. They have one coming up January 26th. We have another webinar, not taught by me, because this is not my area of expertise, but January 31st, intellectual property in machine learning and AI software patents. So if you're using ChatGPT to help you run your business, that might be really valuable for you. February 6th, we're having our monthly ecosystem meetup. Those have been a lot of fun. And I know I've met a bunch of you face-to-face and hung out there. And February 7th, if you are in the medical field and doing intellectual property or drug development, patents or strategy, that is what's coming up. So I am going to stop sharing and address any questions that we have. Jay, do we have any questions?
So there was one question about the slides becoming available. Yes, we will email them out to you. We will also share the recording with everyone. But if there are other questions, drop them in the chat or honestly just unmute.
Yeah, is it cool,
I
cool if I
will.
just chime in? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, chime in.
Yeah, well, first off, Sharon, thank you so much. That was a really informative presentation. I really appreciate your insight. I guess a question I have is, and I guess kind of like a problem I've been encountering is kind of embarking on my own customer discovery is, I'll have all these great questions and like, if I can get all these answers, I'm gonna have all the information I need. But actually getting people to talk to me, I feel like is always kind of like a bit of a bottleneck. And just for my example, I'm basically providing like a content monetization platform for fitness influencers, like on Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot. And it can be hard to get people to, answer DMs or emails for people who actually post their emails on Instagram and whatnot. So do you have any advice on how to actually get people to answer your questions in the first place?
So people, if you're posing the introduction with the problem that you're solving, misery loves company, and people really want to share their gripes and their complaints. So if you send out a message and say that I am building a solution to solve XYZ problem, I want to hear your struggles. Do you mind sharing with me the challenges you've had executing XYZ? Then they might be more open to talking to you. The other thing I would recommend is like a referral system. So talk to the people you know and ask everyone that you have a good relationship with, ask your friends, ask your family to introduce you to one fitness influencer they might know, or one personal trainer they might know, and ask them to make that introduction. If you make a personal connection, a lot of times through that third party, people will be a little more willing to talk to you. I'm not going to lie, it's a challenge, right? And it is that business to business model. So I would be curious if, or how fitness influencers are currently solving for this. Are they using like a third party service? Are they hiring an agency to do this? How are they currently figuring it out? And see if maybe through that you can get some information. I hope that's helpful. I would be happy to help you craft offline, of course, craft an email introduction that you can send out if you think that would help.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay. So
I have your email.
Yep, shoot me an email and I'm happy to help you craft that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really
You're welcome. All right. Are there any other questions?
We did have a question in the chat that was asking if the Idea Bank and the GWIN mentors are available to individuals outside of the Tulane community. I tapped an answer, but if you want to also give a verbal response.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are here to service not only the Tulane students, staff, and faculty, but also the community, right? So we are members of the community, economic development, the economic success, the entrepreneurial success of everybody here in New Orleans and the state of Louisiana has a direct impact on our ability to be a thriving university, and we want everyone to be successful. So of course, our resources are available to you all. And with that, it is noon. I would like a gold star for getting you out of here on time. I hope everybody has a wonderful day.